something up here just really quick, and then we want to work on it. So, just get that dry off here a little bit. You know, last week we worked on just doing the Mike Ferry script. We worked on the other portions of this of the other listing presentation, and then what I want to do is I want to start breaking down parts of the presentation. So we'll go from there. And then I just want to remind you that every single presentation has to have these things in it. And I haven't brought these up for some time, but it's something that we should always make sure is part of what we do every day. It doesn't matter whether it's Lindsay doing a recruiting presentation, doesn't matter whether it's Natalie doing a listing presentation, doesn't matter whether it's Dean with a buyer. These 6 things or 7 things, sometimes I put 7, but they all have to happen within the mechanisms of the presentation. So just the first one, just as a reminder, is that we have to have a deep connection. Or at least a connection, right? I mean, and I don't mean that you have to sit there and sing Kumbaya together and sit around the campfire. I'm not. But what I'm talking about is that the key thing to connection is that what it does is it leads to making sure people feel comfortable, and when people are comfortable, they allow you to lead. That's it. So if you can connect with another individual, then they're going to feel comfortable around you, and once they're comfortable, they'll allow you to lead them. And that's all that needs to happen. That's all that we're really looking for, right? So how I always ask people, though, is err on the side of over-connection, because most people don't connect at the levels that they should be. And they simply think that it's all about the mechanics and the numbers, when in reality the numbers can make all the sense in the world, but if they don't feel connected or comfortable, they're never going to allow you to take the lead. So the key here is to get to a point to where we unquestionably know that they're allowing us to lead them. All right, the second thing is that we have to create value. Now, I'm going to jump over that, but remember, value is, there's so many, there's things that you can buy, and there's things that, I'm just going to say, things that who you are, right? So things that you can buy would be like a property tour. Things that you are is really, again, what's interesting is all roads lead back to this: your ability to lead, who you are as a leader, your compassion, your boldness, your directness, and your patience, to your kindness, to your tenaciousness, the weaving of your leadership and how you move through the process, your knowledge to your lack of knowledge. All of these things are things that create value. They are not things. This is stuff that you can buy. This is stuff that you cannot buy. You cannot go out and just simply buy it. So my challenge to you is remember that the most important thing that you will bring to the table is to who you have become. That's the most important thing. Pick a script that you like. Whatever one it is that you like, great. But I promise you the script will only be as good as you are. Who you are, who you've become. So don't ever lose sight of what we read, what we watch, who we spend our time with, what we listen to, what we write down, what trainings we attend, what coaching we get, what we visualize, what we see. All of these factors have an impact of who we become, who we are, the essence of who we are. Okay? And then the third is I'm going to put this up here to close. So whenever I talk to an agent, I always say, get connected, create some value, close the sale. And then there's all these little other products down here that you could say would be number 4, which are under really the premise of value. But you can list them as 4, 5, 6, and sometimes they even list as 7. But the fourth would be this. The fourth, and these ones aren't in any order, but just making sure that you separate yourself from your competition. Every great leader somehow has separated themselves. Every great politician, when they win, separates themselves. Even if you don't like what they teach, what their positions are, their political stance, it's irrelevant. The reality is everything they're doing is trying to separate themselves. Take the Republican candidates. There were 17 at one point. Now there is 1. Or 16. One of those two. 16 or 17, right? Out of 400 million people in this country, 17 people or 16 people step forward, and now it's down to one Republican on the Republican side. Same thing on the Democratic side. I mean, there's only like 3 or 4 out of 400 million plus people in this country, and that's what you got left. There you are.
You didn't run, George.
Yeah, right? Okay, so number 4, separate yourself. Okay, number 5, we have to reduce the risk. All right? Reduce the risk. People have to feel safe. Another word you might put next to this is just that people feel safe. People feel safe. All right? So you separate yourself. You help them feel safe, whether that be contractually, whether it be your leadership, your guidance as a protector and a guardian. Right? But we separate ourselves. We reduce the risk. The 6th, I'm just going to put here, is they trust you. Now, how you can get them to trust you, there's lots of ways. Your sheer presence is a good way, but it could be from references. It could be from stories you tell and examples. It could be from lots of things. It could be how you even shook their hand. It could be from just the fact of how you look them in the eye. It could be the way in which you speak and the confidence in your voice. All of these are factors of trust. Okay? And then the 7th is that they have to believe that you're capable. And the trust one is the one I often don't talk about because I feel like it's automatic. But they have to feel that you're capable, that you can actually do the job. So again, same principle here. Maybe it's references, stories, examples, experiences that you've had, things you share with them. If I'm doing recruiting, I'm sharing stories of other successful agents in the company. If I'm working with a listing, and they're a for sale by owner, I might talk about another for sale by owner I listed or a company listed and sold. But I might talk about successful stories. But my observation is that it doesn't matter whether I'm standing at the front of a room speaking to you. It does not matter whether it's you at a listing presentation. It does not matter whether it's a buyer presentation. It doesn't matter whether it's to your own children, to speaking to your friends. Every great presentation, these things are woven throughout it. So let's not underestimate it. This used to be, these things used to be the cheat sheet that I would come out. I would look at them before I went in. I go, yep, I got to make sure these things happen. I go into the appointment. I have it in the little top-hand corner of my lead sheet, and I would see it, and I'd glance at it as I was moving through. Oh, yeah, that's right, I haven't connected. Oh, yeah, that's right, what have I done to separate myself? Oh, that's right, they're feeling unsafe. They're not wanting to sign. Why are they feeling unsafe? And then even whether I got the listing or whether I didn't get the listing, I'd walk back out, I'd be in my car, and the very first thing I'd do is I'd just go through an assessment. Did I do these things? Did I not do these things? When did I not do these things? Could I have done these things better? Even if I got the listing, I think, man, I really could have gotten there faster. And it got to the point to where so quickly, within 20 minutes, as a general statement, I was able to take listings because these 7 things were happening so fast. And I had all my paperwork filled out. Everything was done. Even the home we listed over on Shenandoah. I went on the listing appointment. I was there no longer than 20 minutes, Bruce. Not more than 20 minutes. $1 million home, not more than 20 minutes. And they didn't have the paperwork done. So then I said, okay, Heidi, I'm going to leave now. And Heidi was there for another hour and a half. But the listing was signed, Russ. So for the record, she did a marvelous job because there was a lot of work that had to be done with those individuals and just their challenges within their life and everything else. But my point is that you should be able to weave and get to the point of signed contracts very quickly. Very, very quickly. Doesn't mean it needs to be today, but as the months and years progress, that should be your expectation, that there should be a time where you can sit down with someone and things shift in their life almost instantly and almost immediately within minutes. There's a day that will happen. For some of you, it already does happen that way. Okay? Any thoughts? I don't want to spend a lot of time talking. I want to spend the next 10 minutes doing a role play. But let's not forget this. I haven't put that up there for a long, long time. Anything? Any thoughts? Jason, anything? Dave, Lance?
One of the problems we're seeing over and over again is people cutting their commissions, and I think it's because they did not do number 2 and number 4. They didn't set up the value and they didn't separate themselves.
No.
So later when people come back and say, you weren't worth what you charged, I want you to give me some of the money back, they say, okay, and it's disturbing.
Right? The money has to be in equality to the value. I'm just going to say you bring. Right? The value you bring, you're spot on. And here's the deal: if you don't do any of these things, like up here is number 4, to separate yourself, which is really under all this value portion. If you don't do that, then what will happen is the only thing that will separate you, as we all know, some of you have heard me say this for years, just the money, just the commissions. Stop saying to yourself, "Oh yeah, I lost that deal because someone beat me on the commissions." I think that is a very weak answer. The real answer is, I didn't share with them, show them, or express to them, or sell them on the fact that what I do is worth the money I charge, so therefore they went with someone else at a discounted rate. That's reality. That's harsh, because you sit there and go, oh gosh, but it is the reality. It means that however you wove through the process or worked through the process, they didn't come back thinking, oh, there was enough value. It's the same thing even if, it doesn't matter whether I'm Dave or Linz or Russ or Rick or Jason or whoever is recruiting this company. The answer isn't what we charge. The answer is, because if people are making the money they should be making, they aren't worried about what they're paying. They're worried about how much they're earning. Right? So it's just a paramount mindset to have, that if we don't first and foremost take responsibility for the outcomes of what goes on, we can never fix it. And so we always are agents that say, oh yeah, I didn't get that because the guy discounted his commission. Oh yeah, they wanted way too much for the home. But did they have equity? Did they have the ability? Yes, so it means that you weren't good enough to show them how that they should still be selling, even if they wanted to and have the ability to, and they still chose to not work with you because they thought they needed more money. That's a skill set game. It's a skill set, right?
I can't see Leah Kruger cutting her commission. Everything there.
Right.
Start.
That's what she's going to do.
That's who I want to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not Leah.
Right, no, I get it. Or whoever. Or whoever.
Yeah.
Or whoever. Right?
Yep.
Yeah. Sorry, I thought you were going to say something else, Greg. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, one of the most important up there is them feeling safe. They very rarely move forward if they don't feel that.
So let's do this real quick. So of what's up here, what would you like to see role play? What would you like to see done? What would you like to see focused on? Connection? Okay.
Separate yourself.
You're going to separate yourself, because we've had quite a few agents in our own company go out against each other.
Okay.
Sometimes if cutting your commission is an issue with a lot of agents, then value.
I agree. Okay. I mean, as we know, they're all important. So on the connection, Mike, just real quick, I would just, I actually think that's I'd like to make that a longer role play. So why don't we'll start whittling away at these, and tomorrow what we'll do is we'll whittle away on that. We'll sit with you on that tomorrow. I'll be here tomorrow morning. Because I think that what I'd like to do is like express all the ways in which we should ask questions, repeat, affirm, do a handful of things. So I'll do that tomorrow morning after the book club. What book? It's the How to Get to Yes.
I think it's yes.
Okay. All right. So did you say separate? Is that what you said?
Me?
Or someone said
Yeah,
separate?
separate.
Okay. So let's just put this one thing up here. The one thing that I will always say is that I'll say most agents or most companies okay, versus I or me or we do, whatever, right? And the reason why I bring this up is that's one of the ways to do it. But I want to echo ways to separate yourself: the way you dress, the way you drive, your image, what pen you may use, how you present your folder, your little listing packet, your buyer packet. Everything that the eyes can see, you should be taking a step back and going, have I separated myself? Okay, have I separated myself? Do I stand above the crowd? I mean, the best thing that happens is that now people think that it's business casual, so no one really likes to wear a tie. All the more reason, I mean, obviously you guys are in here, which is cool, good job. But it's all the more reason to wear one. Because again, for me, it separates myself. Because I know no one else really is. I still remember many times, the one is the best, when the guy listed with me and he said, you're the first guy who's come in a suit, but the last guy who just left in shorts and a Tommy Bahama. And that was a fact.
Wow.
I know who the agent was. And he'd been in the business so long that he just thought, man, I'm just, it's just me, man, here I am. It's the most important asset of their life. And often people will show up casual. Right? How you do anything is how you do everything. All right. So image, right, is a separator. Second is the way in which you verbally communicate. So the verbalization, which we're going to focus on here in a minute. Really, verbally is how we're going to focus on it for a second. And then the third, we separate ourselves with our posture or our body language, right? How we may shake a hand, the strength in which we shake. So there's three things: image, things that are us, whether they're or items and things around us, right? So image, communication with our voice, and then our body. And those are the three things that ultimately separate. Now there's obviously things that trail off of each one of those three pillars, but those are the three. So I would challenge you, if you're saying, how do I separate myself? What is my image? What is my communication? What is my body language? What am I offering? What am I giving out? What am I showing the world to separate myself? Right? You know what's so funny, guys? You say to the guys in this room, I often have people come to me and go, hey, where do you buy your suits? Because they are so nice. Where do you get those? Okay, because I've lost all this weight over these last month, actually since October. So all the suits I have, all of them, are from the Nordstrom rack. Not a single suit that I have purchased has cost me more than $249. And people always come up to me and go, hey, where do you get your suits? $249. That's cheaper, just for the record, than Men's Warehouse. Unless it's like, buy 10 suits, get one, or buy one, get 10 free deal, right? I don't know. But I found that you wear one of those suits one time and then you never get to wear them again looking the same. My point is that I'm just amazed as to how you will continue to not separate yourself from the competition. You will excuse yourself from finding a way and a path to do it. There's numerous ways to do it. So whether it be the suit, whether it be your makeup, whether it be how you do your hair, whether it be what you drive, or the condition of what you drive. Whatever it may be, stop giving all the reasons why it can't be. Talk about all the reasons why it can be. Gerald?
I'm just going to comment that it's the whole package. It's not just your suit, it's your confidence, it's your language, it's how you carry yourself, everything you just mentioned.
Those three, right?
So they are thinking it must be the suit.
Yeah.
Maybe if I got the suit.
It's the shoes.
Interesting.
It's the shoes. What I said about Michael Jordan? It's the shoes. Right? Well, I've been obsessed since I became aware of it, conscious of those three things. Just everything about what I do is obsessed with those three areas, because the easiest advantage I have in life is that if I just simply separate myself, it makes my life a lot easier. Just makes it easier, especially things that you can just buy. And then it doesn't cost anything to change your language. It's just costs you time. You can say, well, that cost me money. Yes, I agree. But it's And again, it's something you can focus on. Start looking at people, watching people who are confident. See how they hold themselves. See how they greet people. See what they do, and emulate it. That's all I've done. I've just watched people who are great at it. Not one of you in here can't do the same stuff, and some of you do. You do. Okay, Jason, since you're my never-ending role play partner, come up here. Let me separate myself from you, or from my competition.
From your competition.
Yeah. With my fancy socks. You see those bad boys?
Wow.
That's not usually me. I'm usually Mr. Conservative.
Yeah, you and Rob Oakey.
Yeah,
Guys
well,
are hanging out.
Rob's the one who's got Rob and Matt Barton. They're the kings of socks. All right. So separating. Let's just do a handful of things that I often will do. Is just separate. And I'm just going to rattle out a few things because we're just going to take. Good thing about a Rolex, it never holds the right time, Dave. That's it's not nothing to do with the time.
That's the image.
It's the image. It doesn't ever tell you the right time because it's not 10:30 anywhere. Well, probably somewhere in the world.
Somewhere.
I guess even a broken clock's right twice a day.
It's 8:30, 9:30, 10:30. It's in New York.
What time is it? 8:32.
Yep.
All right. So let's just take a few minutes, and then if those who can stay, work on a few of these. But let's go back up here. Most agents, most companies. So we're in the middle of the presentation. So Jason, you know what's interesting? This is exactly how I usually do it, right? So I'm not manufacturing something that I haven't done. This is all stuff for years and years. This is the way I've done it. Doesn't necessarily mean it's always the right way, but it's how I've done it, according to me. So Jason, do you know what's so interesting?
What's that?
What is so interesting is that most agents, while we are going to go have a professional tour done, where there's a photographer who's going to come out and see your home, where they're going to walk through the home, not like they're, like what most agents are doing, like they take their iPhone and they become the next Ansel Adams of taking photos of your home. That's what most agents are doing. What my company is doing, what I am doing, is why everyone's trying to cut costs. We actually are spending more money, doing more things, and treating this as it is the single most important asset of your life. Now let me ask you a question. Would you rather have just an agent walking through doing the tour, or would you rather have a professional walking through who specializes in photography?
I'd rather have a professional.
Excellent. So let me ask you. So that would be one way of doing it, all right? Any thoughts to that? Actually, any thoughts to that?
Your body language is saying a ton, and just the way you're presenting it with the passion and the focus, and watching that is fascinating.
Okay.
Because it's all of you speaking to that.
It is. Notice I don't pick on a particular agent or company. I will never do that. I would say most companies, most offices, most agents, most individuals in our business, but I will never state a specific agent or a specific person for doing a specific thing. That is dangerous business, might I just add. Yeah, it makes it, doesn't it, right? Just talk about what the majority of people are doing. I mean, there are some agents that are doing, but the majority of the agents are cutting corners. We all know that. That's true, right? Is that true?
Yes.
Right? So we just want to speak truth. All right, let's just do another one. Jason, may I share with you quickly what most agents are doing in regards to how they communicate with you or with a particular client?
Yeah, that'd be great.
They're not. That's the exciting part. It makes my job so simple to separate myself because most individuals in our business are not communicating. In fact, what's scary is the number one complaint against most real estate agents is their lack of communication. So Jason, let me ask you, how important is it that I communicate with you?
Well, I want to know what's going on.
And so you'd like to know what's going on, you'd like to know, I presume you don't want me just to throw a sign up, put it on the MLS and never hear from you, right?
Yeah,
That would be a problem?
that would be a
See,
problem.
isn't that a great challenge in today's market? Where the lack of professionalism is there with so many agents, where they think that if you just throw it on the MLS, throw a sign up in the yard, the business is done and it's all done and I don't have to do any more. That is not who I am, nor who Century 21 is. Our commitment to calling you every week is this, and maybe we'll jump into over here of helping people feel safe, is that even in your contract, I'm going to handwrite that if I do not call you every week and leave you a detailed voice message or talk to you or face-to-face, and share with you 3 core things. 1, what I've done to get your home sold in the last week. Number 2, what the feedback has been on your home as we've had showing. And number 3, what we're going to do next. And if I don't do that every week, immediately you can fire me. Fair enough?
That sounds good.
Okay? Any thoughts to that?
The confidence in which you say it, I think, is very powerful in watching him and how he responds to it.
Greg, you gonna say
The
something?
fact that you spent time talking about it puts importance on it. And you reduced risk.
Remember, great salespeople never ask questions. I'm going to give you 2 answers to this. You never ask a question that you don't already know the answer to. So it's Evie, right?
Oh, and
Evie.
Evie. John Hunter's daughter is Evie.
there's a lot of EVs,
Yeah.
a lot of-
So Evie, all right. So Evie, if you, you're newer to the business, right? So do you know the answer to this question? If you were to ask Jason, would you like me to communicate with you regularly? What do you think his answer is going to be?
Yes.
I know that seems like, well, duh. But, so remember, the first part is I only ask questions I know the answers they're going to give back. Or number 2, I only ask questions that I'm okay with whatever the answer is. So let me give you another example. Jason, where are you moving to?
Park City.
Park City. Do you think I care where he's moving? Am I okay, Dave, with whatever the answer might be?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just a thought. Now, if you go down another question, you say, so Jason, let me ask you, what are the commissions of the other agents? What are they willing to do to sell your home for? I might not know. I mean, think about this. Now, depending on how good you are, you may be okay wanting to hear it. But boy, you could be opening a serious can of worms right now by just simply saying, let's talk about what everyone else is willing to charge you. That's probably not a question I'd be asking. I just wouldn't, right? So just remember, great salespeople ask questions they already know the answer to, or they only ask questions that they're okay with whatever the answer is. May seem rudimentary, may seem elementary, but I'm telling you, it's a big deal. People ask questions they don't want the answer, or they ask questions that they don't even know how to answer it when they're asked. Okay? Any thoughts on that? All right, let's do another one. Let's do was there a particular one that someone would want to do? I have one I'm going to do about the contract. Okay? Actually, I'm going to do one about Century 21. Okay. So, Jason, let me ask you a question. I know you've been contacted by numerous different agents. You've got a few friends in the business. Are most of those agents with a national recognized organization, or are they with companies that you've never heard of?
No, I mean, most of them are ones that are local around here, but
Okay.
Yeah.
But is it like Century 21, an iconic brand?
no, we've talked
No,
to Keller.
consumer.
We've talked to Keller Williams. We've talked to Remax. I think they're bigger, but
Okay.
okay. Some smaller ones as well.
Okay. Yeah. So let me ask you a question. Why do you think what do you think makes an agent choose a particular company above another?
Well, I would say that it's probably more because of the agent. I would imagine
Of the what?
the agent. They like the agent, maybe.
Why a particular agent chooses a particular company?
No. Oh, you mean your question is
Yeah.
an
Why
agent-
does a particular agent like me
Oh.
choose a particular company they work with, like Remax, like Century 21, like a Keller Williams? Why do they choose to work with those companies?
Probably because they're bigger companies.
True. What do you think is most important to an agent
The amount
in
of
regards
the
to
money they make.
exactly? Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? So, if you worked at Equity, do you know how much money has to be paid to the brokerage to work there, to sell a house?
No.
A little over $500. Interesting. Do you know how much it is if you're at Remax? maybe $1,000. Do you know how much it is that if you were at Coldwell Banker or like a Century 21?
Probably the same as those others.
No, it's actually a lot more. Sometimes it's twice as much. So why do some agents go to a Century 21 and other ones want to save a bunch of money and go to Equity or Remax?
They're probably getting other things. Other incentives from the companies maybe.
Well, what I would tell you is this, and what I think is important is that while most agents are wanting to cut corners and cut costs and save money and earn more money, what I can tell you is that an agent at Century 21 is committed to one thing: what's best for the client. That's the decision I made while I'm at Century 21. I decided to be at Century 21 because it was best for you. Because when I pay my company more, they advertise more. And your home is on over 500 different websites. Your home, if someone switches on a computer, they know about it. When people hear about Century 21, and if they drive down a street and see the sign of Century 21, it is a recognized brand of comfort for 45 years. There's a reason why agents choose to work there, because it's better for you. The question is, are you going to choose a company that's better for you or better for the other agent?
Better for me.
Exactly. And that's the very reason why you and I should be working together. And that's why Century 21 is so important to you. Because it's best for you. Not anybody else, you. So let me ask you, and I go to my next question.
Makes sense.
Questions or thoughts on that?
Never heard that before. That's good.
I actually really like that. And just one thing I want to point out is about the communication back and forth about what you're really asking him and how he had to really go deeper. I mean, you had to go deeper to explain. Very common.
Any concerns with that? Thoughts?
It's all about them, not you.
Right.
That was
So isn't that interesting that we know that the majority of agents have chosen to work with a particular company because it's better for them? I chose to work here because it's better for you.
that's
Do
awesome.
you think that on the last question you asked me, if you would have said something like, what value do you see that in for
Sure.
you?
Yeah, we
And
got
have me
it.
answer that versus you answer it?
You
Because
bet.
you answered it.
No problem. Love it. I think it's great. Yep. The beauty of role playing, it can always be better. And if I was to take more time, I would go down the pathway, Jason, of do you see value in that? What value do you see? Why would that be of a benefit to you? Why would you want to work with a company that actually I chose that's better for you versus something I chose that's better for me? See, here's the deal. Great salespeople get people to focus on what they want. If I walk into a meeting, and with Jason and I had this conversation, and I start pounding this, hellfire brimstone about take listings, take listings, take listings, take listings, go take more listings, take listings, take listings. I try to always stay on that tone anyway, because the more listings you have, the more buyers you have. The more listings you have, the more better your life is. But what do you think happens if I constantly talk about listings? What do the agents start focusing on? Listings. If I focus on Sphere, call your Sphere, talk to your Sphere, Sphere campaign, talk to the people who know you, talk to the people who are cheering for you, call them, talk to them, campaign to them, mail them, knock their doors, pop by, see them. What do you think the rest of the company's going to start doing eventually? So what do you think happens when you go to a listing presentation or a buyer presentation? It doesn't matter. And you start to echo this conversation of technology, photos, tours, any of these aspects to get an individual to focus on the right things. What happens is that what you walk into, you go into the lion's den, and the lion's den is this. The other agents said they do it for 4.5%. What are you willing to do it for, Jason? Well, versus, that's a great question. It sounds like to me that the focus right now is how much money you're going to save, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is what I would challenge you to consider at the end of my presentation today, is that we focus on how much more money you could earn. There's a reason why I've been doing this for the number of years that I've done it. There's a reason why for 45 years, Century 21 has been the leading brand in the world for selling real estate, period. And if we focus on helping you earn more money, I don't believe it matters how much I charge you, is it?
As long as we're netting the most.
Right. The bottom line is you net the most money. So what did we just do? A level shift that got them to focus on the right thing. And then I might even change it. So how do you think you're going to earn the most money? And how do you think we take the most money out of your home? And what impact would the way in which we market your home to expose it to the most buyers, what type of impact would that have? See, the real issue isn't how much you save. The real issue is how do we market to maximize your profit? And if I can't negotiate 1 extra % on the sale of your home, then I shouldn't even be in this business. So Jason, let me ask you. Let's focus on the right things. Is that fair enough?
Yeah.
Let's focus on what we can do to help you and earn the most money on the sale of your home. And the long-term benefits that will happen for you and for your family based on that. So let me ask you. What's important to you about the ways in which we market? Okay. Mike, any thoughts? Okay. We're gonna keep doing these. I know that I guess they're being recorded, but you're welcome to bring your phone up here and record them so you just go listen to them on a voice memo. You're welcome to do that. I know that Shirley, you've done that, and a number of you have. Greg, you've done it for years. Jason, you've done it. Encourage you to do it. The good news is my voice carries. I know that for a fact. Okay, any thoughts? Okay, we're going to work on this more. Tomorrow we're going to work on some of the ways in which we connect, but we'll continue to work on this separating portion. And did you record that, Cheryl? Okay, so if one of you wants it, maybe she just might be willing to text it to you or send it to you. She's nice enough to do something like that.
For a fee.
Usually. Huh?
For a fee.
For a fee. You know, a mere,
Inexpensive.
yeah? Okay? Okay, guys. Have an extraordinary day. And then we'll see you tomorrow morning or see you throughout the day. And what's Jason, great job.
Yeah, you know, I mean, that role play partner of yours, he
You
said.
are outstanding.